Right, good morning and welcome back to the channel. Well, would you believe it, I found some mud on the CL, so I'm going to give it a quick wash off this morning before we set off. It's also covered in dust, reason being I'm doing a video actually. I just washed the tank off a little bit. Yeah, I've got it covered in dust because the garage in which it's kept, I'm doing a bit of a renovation project on, which I'm going to make a video about actually, but I wanted to do it so that I could show the start and the end of the video, the before and after type of thing, so that'll be coming along a little bit later. Look at all that mud down there. Makes you wonder about having a fender extender, doesn't it, when you see all that. Using my trusty brush here that I love, real soft bristles. I shouldn't have done that first actually, I should always work from the top down, which I normally do. There we go, just get the worst of it off rather than let any dirt build up and stick on over time, particularly on hot surfaces. That's the way I like to do it. Yeah, the garage video, hopefully that'll be quite interesting. Well, interesting is probably not the word, but watchable. I'm trying to smarten it up for the winter. Unfortunately, I've got some stuff in the garage which I'm trying to get rid of, which will happen very soon. And I'll have some more space and hopefully room. Maybe even for another bike. Who knows? That would be very nice. Or at the very least, I'll have room for being able to work on the CL and add some accessories which I've got planned. So I'll just give this a quick swill off before we set off this morning. Yeah, covered in dust because I also use the garage for my woodwork, which is another little hobby of mine, and the saw throws up loads of wood dust, so it does tend to get a little bit dusty in there at times. Of course, there's no better time to swill off a bike like this than just before you set off, because then riding along gives you a free blow dry, doesn't it? Saves you having to dry it, because most of it gets dried as you ride along. That's the way I see it anyway. Always worked for me. And just a quick, there we go, that's got the worst of it. Just so there's nothing that's going to get baked on. Right, I will see you down the road. Yes, welcome back and thanks for joining me again. Find us in Bewdley today. I've got to go to the meat milk at the cabin and just shoot through Bewdley here. I know there's a lot of roadworks going on, so I haven't been through Bewdley for a while because of the chaos, which you'd have seen on one of the other videos I did a while back. Road closed. I think that's just that road there at the moment. Yeah, we're okay, we're free to go over the bridge, that's no problem. Excellent. Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody for the response to the last video, which was on tech, on bikes, if you remember that one. Very positive response, everybody basically agreeing with me for once, which is fantastic. Hard to argue with though, isn't it really? But yeah, most people are saying that they don't really like tech. Can be useful, but most people are not really a fan, and they're worried about how far it will go in the future and how it spoils the motorcycling experience. Special mention to T.A.Y.M, T-A.Y.M, that's the All Year Motorcyclist. If you're not familiar with his channel, I'm sure many of you are, but if you're not, and if you come to me through just the CL500 connection, get over to his channel, the All Year Motorcyclist. Absolutely wonderful bloke, and a guy that helped me get started on this vlogging malarkey. And he commented, and he said he agreed with me on virtually every point I made, just proving what a very sensible chap he is. As we knew anyway. But yeah, too much tech spoils the riding experience. And I'm going to say it, I held back a little bit on the video itself, but I'll tell you now exactly what I think. I didn't want to preempt any arguments, but for me, ABS and a few other little things, that's enough. I don't want any more, thank you very much. And some very good points actually made by some other subscribers. I think it was Simon, I hope I'm right in saying that, who made a brilliant point about TFT screens. I was making the point about how reliable they might prove to be in the future, but he was saying about how they actually draw the attention and might make you not look at the road and not take your concentration off your riding. And I think that's an absolutely brilliant point, actually, one I hadn't really considered. But if you're anything like me, when you're in front of screens, I mean, we're all a little bit like children, aren't we, in front of screens? We're drawn to them. I certainly am in the house. If there's a screen on with lots of colours and flashing lights and things happening, I'm just drawn to it. Your eyes are drawn to it. Now that's not a problem in the house, but on a bike, will the TFT screens do the same? Could there be a safety issue there? I think that's a very fair point. But it's interesting. What do you think on that? I think it's a really good point, actually. Now, I started off this video, or should have, with I gave the bike a quick wash off. I've gained a few flies, as you do, over the past few weeks. And yeah, that is right, you heard it right, weeks, because I'm not a person that cleans a bike too often. I've got a rather maybe off-field view towards washing bikes. And for me, it's I think it's possible to do it too often. Oh, we're stuck behind this white van now. Oh, this is like a Mr. and Flyer video now, isn't it? Dear, oh dear. Yeah, beautiful view of the woods there. Look at that. What a lovely little spot. I only pulled over really to get rid of that van because I didn't want to be staring at it for the next 2 miles. But there we go. Yeah, what was I on about? Yeah, cleaning bikes. Now, I'm no expert, but I've got my opinions on cleaning vehicles. I think generally, let's put it like this: the cleaning industry is a multi-million pound industry in the UK alone, selling all sorts of products. Let's just call one out. Let's just call Muck Off, which was the one that almost started this for motorcyclists. This thing you spray all over your bike before you wash it. In my opinion, pointless. Yeah, I know all you Muck Off users will be saying, "Oh, don't talk rubbish. That's brilliant." Well, I'll tell you what I use, and that's warm water. I think there's a lot of people forget. If you did the washing up at home and you did it in cold water, if you've ever done that, you'll know the difference between using cold and warm water. What I use is just warm water, a little bit of turtle wax for a bit of foam. Not really necessary if I haven't got any, it doesn't matter. as much as anything, the foam just shows you where you've washed and where you haven't, so you can see the bubbles. But yeah, a little bit of that, some warm water, quite warm, obviously not boiling, but as warm as you would wash up in, really. And the warm water melts away all of the fly swats and the mud and anything else you've got on your bike better than muck off ever will. So why spray the bike with these chemicals that you just don't need? It's a multi-million pound industry, as I said, selling you all sorts of potions. And if your bike is, certainly if you've got a new bike, the CL, I'm lucky enough to have bought it new, as you know, keeping it clean, you really don't need loads of chemicals all over it. It's as simple as that. Warm soapy water and a polish, and maybe a cleaner for the matte plastic parts. That's it, nothing else needed. And I know a few people actually who wash the bike every time they use it. So when they get back, they'll park the bike up and they'll start washing it. Now to me, I'm afraid I think that's ridiculous, because the last thing you want to do is put the bike away damp. And as much as you try and dry it off, if you've completely washed the bike from head to toe, it's going to have water all over it in little nooks and crannies, and that's the last thing you want. So why would you wash a bike before you put it away? So the way I do it, that's just me, is I wash it before I go for a ride, and then I allow the ride itself to dry the bike off. Simple. Saves a lot of hassle, saves work, and to me it makes more sense. As I said, now I'm no expert, although I have run actually a valeting department in a car dealership before. When I was younger, I used to valet cars for a living, so I have got some experience of cleaning vehicles. I also used to do concourse events with cars as well, and won some awards in actual fact. My cars were absolutely mint. So I've been polishing and cleaning cars and bikes for many years, and that's just my opinion. I think all these newfangled chemicals, this snow foam is the latest thing, isn't it? Covering your bike or your car from head to foot in soap and leaving it on. I mean, it's pretty, it looks pretty, and I'm sure it's fun. Is it necessary? I'm sorry. It's absolutely not necessary. It is just a way of selling you another product. Not just the snow foam, but the snow foam applicator and everything else. Absolute tosh, in my opinion. But yeah, put your opinion in the comments if you think I'm talking rubbish. Fair enough. I'm sure many of you mostly think I talk rubbish anyway. But there you go. But no, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of over cleaning a bike. I'm not a fan of using lots of chemicals. I think it mostly 90% completely unnecessary. It's fun, and if you enjoy doing it, that's fine. If you want to buy all these potions, it's fine. It's a free world. Are they necessary? No. I would stand my bike and how clean it is up against anyone else's who uses all these things. So there we are. That's destroyed the cleaning industry for vehicles, isn't it? They're going to love me. I do believe though in a good polish, obviously a proper polish for whatever you buy, because this one doesn't need it. It's got matte paint, as you know, on the CL, so I can't even polish this. But if you've got shiny paintwork, then a good quality polish, absolutely. But that is all you need. Right then, another short one. I'm going to have to cut it off again. See who's at the cabin. Going to go and get a cup of tea now. And I might or might not add a bit onto the end of this, depending on how I feel. But for now, that's all for me. Thanks for being with me, and I'll see you in a bit. Yeah, well, there's the CL after the clean. Doesn't look too shabby, does it? No fancy chemicals. Just a wash with warm water.